The next step is explain the interview agenda. So setting up an agenda for the interview will help the candidate understand the expectation and the flow. For example, you can let them know that first you will be explaining what the company is looking for, then move on to asking them some questions. Then they can ask some questions in return, and that you will be ending with an office tour, like telling him that this is the cabin and this is the place where you will be sitting if you will get selected and all. Apart from that, if someone else will be joining you for the second half of the interview, you should let the interview know in advance. Keeping the candidate informed about what to expect will make everyone more comfortable. The next tip is to be consistent. Through you should personalize each interview. It will be easiest to compare candidates if the questions you are asking is consistent. Like asking the same question to each candidate, or you are asking the same level of questions to each candidate. Consistency will keep you better organized as well as help create a solid go-to list of questions, discussions, topic to use later. The next tip is to don't rely on memory. So basically keeping track of multiple interview is challenging. So basically it is to down notes, wrote down the notes and do it on paper so that you don't get distracted like you might on a phone or computer. This organization will help you if you have to discuss each candidate with other colleagues. Like suppose you have shortlisted 3 or 4 candidates, so you have 3 different pages for each candidate. So after that you can just have a word with your manager or with a group discussion with all your team that see we have these 3 shortlisted resume and sorry shortlisted candidates, so whom we should select. So at last this paper will help you in identifying the best fit for your role. The next step is to stay flexible. Through you should aim to get through your most important questions. It is important to let the conversation develop naturally and perhaps off topic as well. If it will help you to get a better know the candidate and their skills. Like instead of asking all the set of questions that you have on paper or on laptop, it will be helpful if you were asking some off questions. So it will definitely make some good rapport with the candidate. Also, that some encouraging information will emerge that your straightforward questions alone will not have achieved. So the next tip is asking appropriate questions. It's important to know what kind of interview question you can't ask potential employees. So like for example anything about race, age, marital status, religion and political affiliation are off limits. You cannot ask related to these questions to your candidate. Also, if you ask these questions, then you and your company are at risk of being accused of discrimination and legal action could follow. The next tip is to paying attention to the non-verbal cues. Look at the candidate body language to gauge things such as their comfort level, level of honesty, interest in the job. Are they just looking at the clock, getting bored, and comfort with eye contact, especially important for customer facing roles. Their words are important,